WASD has a lot of mixed feelings in League right now. Everyone has their opinions on it, and most diehard players aren't happy with it.
It's still not better than ADC. It's got advantages on the ADC play style, but
my problem with this is that I believe it will break the game in a lot of ways. For example, kiting as an AD carry, right?
I mean, this just doesn't look fair. I'm not too sure how his head should play against this. All I'm doing is pressing A and D, and that's it. And also it's super weird because it feels so easy. I just press A and D and left click on the enemy like that.
We all know that League is a very hard game. It is a game that literally requires you to multitask many different things at once and also adapt to the game state, the champions, the objectives, and many other League concepts. Movement has started becoming an outlier to this, being one of the most difficult concepts to get really good at, but also just to start playing the game. League is very old. It has been around since 2009 and has not changed at all with its movement, adopting mouse clicks as the primary way to move your character. This isn't much of an issue back then because a lot of top-down RTS style games use mouse clicks as a primary way to move your character, and games like StarCraft were popular back then. But in 2025, the gaming scene has shifted a lot, and the use of WASD is the dominant movement option for almost any game. RTSs still exist and use mouse movement, but are not the leading dominant, and many of them are not high octane like League. Calling League high octane is very funny, but what I'm trying to say is that you click your mouse a lot more compared to an RTS and have to make more decisions in real time with your movement. The main issue League has is attracting new players.
You're ugly, you're disgusting, I'm gonna kill you, give me $200.
And most of those players will be younger, with less backgrounds of using mouse controls as a movement option. They are too busy playing Steal a Brain Rot on Roblox or no build in Fortnite. When I first started playing League all the way back in 2012, the struggle to learn movement was massive. Just trying to move my character and attack champions was like my main focus. Obviously, I was complete dog shit for a good amount of time. I don't know how I ended up pushing through all those issues, but one reason that helped was having my sister play with me and also a more experienced player to help. With all the difficulties of learning League, movement is one of the biggest reasons people leave League so early. When you struggle to even move around in a game, the experience is very frustrating. This type of frustration is a big red flag to game developers like myself. If people can't get a good grasp on the controls, how are they ever going to continue playing and simply just have fun? Or better yet for League, how are they going to stay, get addicted, and spend money on skins? This is the main reason why Riot wants to adopt another movement option of WASD. This tackles one of the biggest frustrations many new players have, but also per se creates another problem for many experienced players that play the game. If you watch League videos like this, you know about kiting. Kiting is a micro technique where you move in between your attacks to either get away from someone, chase someone down, or simply dodge skill shots. In the higher echelon of players, this technique is a must-have for all types of players. Not even just for range champions. Mouse movement for kiting is extremely difficult and can take many hours to master something as simple as just moving in between attacks. Moving with purpose with those attacks, moving with precision, and moving in and out of range perfectly are even deeper techniques of kiting that require a bunch of time to master. But with WASD, a lot of those challenges are simplified. Moving while attacking is simple with WASD. All you need to do is click on someone while they are in range and an attack will be thrown out. With mouse movement, you had to make a whole routine or dance to even accomplish this smoothly, and messing up once can spell your doom. This is where a lot of the hatred for this new movement option is. It creates an environment where people with WASD will have an upper hand with a technique like kiting. Not even just kiting, but movement in general. Turning quickly is easier, dodging skill shots will be easier, and simply mixing up your movement will be easier. When moving with a mouse, dodging a skill shot requires you to see a skill shot be thrown out, move your mouse to the direction you want to move, and then click to move. WASD takes out one of those small little amounts of time, which is moving your mouse to the spot. All you have to do with WASD is click a button. Micro will become a lot more disgusting, as in many players will be looking like Faker with their movement. People who learn kiting and movement with mouse controls are going to feel frustrated when they spent so much time learning a skill just to have a shortcut to getting decently good at kiting introduced in the game. The game is going to change forever with this new edition. Many speculate that this edition will change it for the worse, and some think otherwise. ADCs will definitely get a power boost with this update when they use WASD controls. As said before, kiting will become much easier for them. Many believe that it will come to a point where they might have to nerf ADCs even further. ADCs have overall always been weak compared to many other champions and roles, because if they become dominant, they become extremely dominant in pro play. For the most part, ADCs are actually not even that weak. In pro play, they are still the most consistent role that offers the most damage when teams can actually coordinate and protect them. In ranked though, it is a different story. Getting one shot, do no damage to tanks, no front line to protect you, and etc, etc. I doubt that this will become a big issue in pro play, but for the average player base, there will be a big difference. The main question many people have with this update is if WASD will become the dominant movement option, and will it be considered better than mouse movement? My thoughts are that it depends. In many instances, WASD will become an easier way to do certain things and have more time when dodging skill shots, but will struggle in other aspects. Alright, cool, but what are the flaws of WASD? One of the biggest outliers that I see is the limited movement options. Since you only have 4 keys of movement, you can only move in 8 precise directions. Up, up right, right, down, down left, left, and up left. These 8 directions aren't bad, but they lack precision for the other 352 degrees of movement someone has with a mouse. Mouse movement is simply clicking on a spot and you can go in that direction. If that direction is not a perfect angle for the 8 directions WASD has, then it will hinder that player. Mouse movement has way more precision than WASD because you have 360 degrees of click power. In some cases, this might get the WASD player killed by not dodging a certain skill shot. This also makes WASD players a little easier to read because they only have 8 options rather than 360. One other flaw WASD has is a strength that mouse movement has, which is the best possible path. When you click to move anywhere on the map, the game calculates the fastest way to get to that position and sends the character into that path. With WASD, this is not possible. The movement is entirely up to you with no computer help. In some cases, this could be a heavy detriment. One example is if you are chasing down a champion through the jungle, the mouse movement player just needs to click towards their direction, and even if they go into the fog of war, the computer will choose the fastest path towards that position. The WASD player will need to create their own path towards that enemy, and could make them lose more distance, and eventually the enemy will get away. The last biggest flaw with WASD is the map of League of Legends is not built for it. Many of the areas in the game will not follow the perfect 8 directions WASD has, which will make it harder to traverse without zigzagging. Probably won't feel good either. They have at least thought of this though, so when moving close to walls and hugging them, your character sticks in them, even if it isn't the angle you are necessarily going towards. I want to go over one other detail with this movement, which is kind of minute and won't matter in most areas when you play League. If you have your fingers on WASD and want to hit an ability, the default options are right click for Q, shift for W, Q for E, and E for W, or E for R. I first want to point out that this control screen will be complete dogshit for some champions, and many people will have to find their preference for each character. That is my opinion at least, but the main thing I want to point out is if you click certain keys, you limit yourself even more. For example, if you click the Q key, you take your ring finger off of the D key for a slight second to do that, which can be bad in some scenarios. Like if you are on blue side trying to run away with D and you want to use an ability which is on the Q key. You click the Q key but stopped your movement and probably got yourself killed. Again, it is a small flaw, but won't matter in most situations, and also the keys are able to be modified, which many people will probably do. I do believe mouse movement will still be the dominant force of movement. League was built around it, and the movement options work extremely well. It has some drawbacks and some difficulties, but all you need to do is get good and learn. WASD is a fine addition for new players, and has some pluses that make some micro techniques so much easier to accomplish, but other flaws that might matter in higher echelon of games. I'm gonna wait for the day though, where we will have a new WASD Pro player, which actually sounds pretty exciting. If you haven't been listening to my tone, I think this is a great addition to the game. It helps draw more players, it creates more ways to play the game, and it allows new talent who use the new addition to make a name for it. Micro is a big controversial topic for it, but in my opinion, it won't matter in a lot of cases. Macro is just way too important, and it literally defines if you win the game or not in most cases. Those sick kiting moves, dodging skill shot capabilities, and fast direction changes won't matter if you aren't positioning correctly on the map, playing with your team, gathering objectives, and being in the right spot at the right time. If you are interested in improving those skills, I can help. Macro or micro, I am still offering free coaching VOD reviews for anyone that would like one. Any rank, any role. Just go into the description of this video and add me on Discord so we can get one started. The war on WASD and mouse movement is just about to begin, but I hope we can all come to an agreement and accept more ways to play League no matter what strengths or flaws it might have. Thanks for watching.